Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could. Little things I should have said and done, I never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely times. And I guess I never told you I'm so happy that you're mine. If I made you feel second best, I'm so sorry I was blind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love hasn't died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. Satisfied. Little things I should have said and done, I never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love hasn't died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. You were always in my house. You are always on my mind, it's true. I never thought of anyone else but you. You are on my mind, and in my dreams I should have stopped to make you see you are always. I worked so hard, I thought you knew. My love, I did it all for you. I never really had the time. I guess you couldn't read my mind. You are always.
Yeah, we fucked up. It's fucking technology. Working beautiful now, so good. You're right. Yeah, I gotta share it again. We have Matt Jackson in the studio, golf entrepreneur. Matt, did you ever go to? Have you ever dealt with anybody from UConn?
UConn.
Do they have a good like golf? Do they have a good golf tournament
They do.
program?
Yeah, they do.
They do. I just became an alumni. That's why I was wondering if
Yeah,
they
Pizzino's their coach. They have a pretty good team.
really good team or pretty good team.
Probably based on the top 25 in golf. They're probably just average, pretty good.
UConn, going to the campus, UConn has a huge. I don't know about other colleges, but they have a huge sports complex everywhere. There's sports. Like even the dorms are built around the sports field and stuff. So, where do they play golf? Where do they play? Like Mohegan or?
Ellington Ridge.
They play at Ellington. Okay. Yeah. Just trying to figure out what I've been going up there a lot lately, so I've been trying to figure out how they take up there.
So, for me, this has always been a problem. This has always been a problem for me. One day I will go and swing a golf club, and I'll be able to hit it phenomenal. And then I pick up a baseball bat, and then I'll swing the baseball bat good, but I can't do both. So how were you ever able to do both? Because
No.
you used to play baseball, so you couldn't do it either.
No, when I started playing golf my sophomore year, it was my last year of Babe Ruth. First
Yeah.
practice of Babe Ruth, I probably hit 10 or 15 out of Babe, what do you want to call it?
The infield?
Yeah, no, out of Rotary. Like I hit them out.
Oh.
And then I come back after playing golf for a few days, and I could barely hit out of the infield. So
You are not playing fair.
both of them mess with your swings. So.
Yeah, I don't know how some people, like professional baseball players, do it. Obviously, the professionals, but there is a huge difference in the swing between baseball and golf. I could never do it, I guess.
Oh, it sucks.
Very
Robbie,
much
Grand
so.
Theft stole my question.
Well, I don't know.
I said I had one question for you this whole time that you're here because I don't do golf, and it's going to be how did you transition from baseball to golf? And he stole it.
He's got self-esteem issues, man.
What's your favorite golf movie? There's not many golf movies, but
Tin Cup, Caddyshack.
Tin Cup, right? Yeah,
Abigail,
where the
whatever.
guy with the nobody comes through and makes it big.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're a nobody, but that's what you're kind of aspired to.
Yeah.
How about you, Peter? What's your favorite
Favorite
golf movie?
I don't have one.
It's a really easy question if you think about it.
Caddyshack?
There you go.
What's wrong, honey?
Bingo. Caddy, come to Carl. Come to Carl.
You will not make this putt, you jackass.
Hey, Smells. $1,000 you missed that putt. Remember that when he takes the club and he throws in, he misses the putt, he throws it onto the snack bar.
What's this? Smells like crap.
He almost killed my wife with his damn club. It slipped.
Okay. Let's talk about those Hawks and the tie, man. That was crazy. Did you watch that whole game?
I fell asleep at the end of it.
Me
Fell
too.
asleep? Wow.
Yeah. Dude, they went into overtime. First of all, I thought they were going to lose
That
because their offense was atrocious. And then the Cardinals line up, and they hit the field goal off the post, and I was like, are you kidding me right now? Then Seattle gets down to the 7-yard line, and he shanks that one, dude. And I was like, this is a joke.
That was the shank of the century, too, man. That was a horrible kick.
No, nothing would be worse than Blair Walsh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's true. Blair Walsh had a lot more on his hands.
I remember
than,
we're in Disney
that one.
watching it on the cell phone, just watching the updates, and there's Vikings fans right next to us. Oh, there were some words that were shared after the
Score!
Wow, that was a bad kick to miss. And they still got him. To me, I would have moved on with that guy. Kind of like the Giants just did with Josh Brown.
Dude, I just want to know, why is there even still ties in football? For me, the NFL should, honestly, I like colleges overtime, where each team starts at the 25-yard line, you either kick the field goal, touchdown, then the other team has the chance to either...
Do the same.
I disagree, T-Man. I disagree.
You think there should be ties in the NFL?
Yes, absolutely.
That's stupid. That is stupid.
Well, first of all, in the case of this game, it doesn't happen too often. It's exciting. And
It's exciting. It's boring.
Should have been a tie, but you have to accept it. You really have to accept it. It shouldn't have been a tie, and it would never happen in the playoffs,
So
and that's all that really matters.
College overtime is the best. College
Yeah.
overtime is
College
So you're telling me
overtime
if you bought a $200 ticket to go to a game, your favorite team's game, you sit through 75 minutes, and it finishes in a tie, you're happy with that?
No, you're miserable. It's a loss. I agree. It's like a loss. It's about it's almost like 90% loss. So, but you almost look at it like, I don't know. It's like a no hitter. It's something special in the terms of like, well, it was a tie. It seems like I would say on average, it's like every other year there's a tie.
Are you familiar with college overtime rules?
Yes, I am. It's kind of hairy. I am, and I know how it goes.
It's the best.
And the announcers tell me it is cool. I have to say, I think it's unique to college, and I think the NFL is the NFL. They should just, they shouldn't like just steal college's idea. I don't think so. I think
They need to find some solution.
It's a rare
to
occurrence,
the
and it becomes
tie,
more
'cause-
exciting in the tiebreakers at the end when it comes playoff time. I think when there's a tie involved. So. And there won't be another one this season, and we'll look back on this one and say something about it.
Did you guys watch the Northwestern Ohio State game?
I didn't watch that.
Last night, no, I
Oh.
did watch. I watched UConn ECU, which was just a god awful game.
Diaco should be fired.
UConn looked. It's not really even like Diaco's fault. More like the offensive coordinator. Like they're always running the ball, and you never see their quarterback throwing it. And then when it's time to throw the ball, it's too late.
Yeah.
And he's pressured. They need to switch it up sometimes. Like sometimes, yeah, we'll start off running, or we'll start off throwing this game. But it's always starting off running. We're going to run the ball to like the third quarter, and then Brian, we want to start throwing the football now. Like, you can't be making late adjustments like that. And their defense is good, but clearly they're tired because they're always on the goddamn field. I think Bob Diaco is a good coach for them because he's very strict, very hard on them. Make sure that they have a good mindset of heading into the football game, whereas the last coach, I don't even remember who he was, and they had like 2 or 3 wins that season. They were terrible. And then that Florida State and Clemson game was such a good game. Florida State gets into field goal range with a certain amount of time left to go in the fourth quarter, and then the center and the left guard with their false starts, and the center especially not blocking the proper guy, and the quarterback gets sacked twice, and that's how they lose the game. They could have tied the game, went to overtime. We would have saw college overtime, which is a lot better than the NFL. Brian.
Okay, all right. I stand corrected, man. What can I tell you? I'll tell you something. Oh, I was going to burp, but it didn't come out. Okay, so what else? What else am I going to talk about from last week's games? It's a lot of tough games to predict.
What about Thursday night's game? Did anybody watch that?
You know what? I got to tell you, I watched it. I was really like craving a hot dog for some reason.
Was it the uniforms the Jaguars were wearing?
Oh, yeah, maybe that was it. Like Goulden's little Sabret dog. I actually felt bad for Jacksonville. They were so bad. I mean, they fucking sucked.
Saturday, they actually fired their offensive coordinator.
Really? Bless you.
It's like what I said when I first made the prediction. They do actually have the talent because they got a lot of players this offseason and throughout the draft. I feel like it's always been coaching and the GM.
False. Their defense is ass.
I mean, it looked like they picked the right players in free agency. Just
First of all, that game should have never been on TV, in my opinion. It's ridiculous, the NFL. They wonder why the ratings are down. They say it's the election, all that bullshit. These games suck. They just suck. That game was a fucking disgrace. There's no way that game should have been on a prime time.
Hey, I liked it. I have DeMarco in fantasy. It was fun to watch.
Okay, all right. Again, I stand corrected. I'm sure a lot of other
people
would
probably has
disagree
one of their
with you.
defenses, and he likes it too.
Listen, man, if you really enjoyed watching that game, then that's fine. But personally, I would have rather watched a fucking rerun of Columbo.
I mean, you could say the same thing about the Patriots versus Browns. Should that game have been televised?
Yeah, but it wasn't. Was it a national game? No, it wasn't a national game.
No, it was still televised.
No, that's ridiculous analogy. There's no comparison
yes, it is.
there.
Thursday night isn't like the Sunday night game. Thursday night is just there's something on. It's a game that's on. It's not.
And that's
yes, it is.
And that's exactly my point. That's the problem. It shouldn't be just a game that's on. It should be a fucking decent game.
Well, you have to give every single team.
Different...
You have to give every single team their fair chance to have the primetime game to make their money.
I totally
then
disagree,
that's why you're not
man.
the commissioner of the NFL.
You don't. when you're a fucking team that put yourself out there like fucking the Hebrew National Hot Dog and you look like jackasses, play like jackasses, you don't deserve to be there. Trust me.
All right, so you're the owner. You're the owner.
Something will come from that game. You'll see where they.
You're the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. Just because your team is at a low point in their franchise,
you
shouldn't make the same money as the Patriots just because you have a bad team.
It shouldn't come down to that. The owners should be bidding. The network should be bidding on these games. They should bid on the games that are most appealing to the audience, us. Okay? Who in their right mind would have bid to have that fucking game on Thursday night? Nobody. None of the networks, they would have said, get the fuck out of here. Okay, it's like at an auction, okay? You going to put up a fucking Shetland pony or are you going to go with fucking Secretariat? What are you going to bid on? You're going to bid on fucking what's going to make you money, what's going to do well. How do you think how do you think the NFL Network felt with the ratings that night? I bet you their ratings were fucking beat out by Odd Couple reruns. Nobody watched that game.
Nobody's watching Odd Couple.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, nobody's watching Odd Couple.
I watched that whole game. So.
I beg to differ.
It's a terrible show.
It could have been the Odd Couple episode where Felix coaches Oscar's son football.
No, it's the worst.
A lot better than watching the coach of Jacksonville look like an asshole.
Worst remake ever.
Listen, I made my point. Let's see what the listeners think. Let's take a call.
If you want to call in, 203-992-776.
Thanks, Robbie, for picking me up there. Okay.
Let's ask our guest. Did you watch Thursday night's game?
No.
And why not?
I have to say, I'm not a hater.
Yeah, but
of the
every
Jaguars
year they
uniforms.
do a shitty game.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to, yeah.
But why? No, they
I
don't.
just
No,
explained
listen.
to you.
Well,
You're
you're
not
wrong.
listening.
They
No, I'm
don't
not.
have to, though.
Yes, they do.
Seriously, they do not
Yes,
have
they
to.
do.
If you do it the way I just said,
I just explained to you. If you're the Jaguars owner, and they do not give you the same respect to where they can make as much money as the New England Patriots just because they're a better team, he could sue the NFL for not giving them the equal opportunity.
I think you're fucking wrong.
I'm
think
not
you're
fucking
totally wrong,
wrong.
team man. All right, let me ask you this then, okay? When they do the schedule, when's the next time? You tell me the next time Jacksonville
not
will
until
be
next
on
year because they already
Bullshit.
got their one
I
game.
will bet you money right now that they will not have a national game next year, Jacksonville, because of,
Yes, they
of
will.
Thursday night.
Next year, will
Well,
they have?
what network? It's not going to be Sunday night.
They will
It-
have
it won't
every
be-
single. Listen to me. Every single team has one Monday night game, at least one Monday night game, one Thursday night game, and one Sunday night game.
Every team.
Every
Every
single
team,
okay?
yes, he's right.
All right. Well, then, if you're right, I'll agree with you that you're right, and
I
say
am right. It's a-
then. But I'm still saying they should change that because it's stupid. They should change it. A team like that shouldn't. Oh, the Cleveland Browns, they don't have. They have no right. Jacksonville has no right. And frankly, you know what? The Steelers shouldn't even be there because I think they suck too.
After one loss, Steelers suck.
No, they're horrible. But you see my point. But I just think seriously, I think it's going to change. I just think it's going to change. I think the networks are going to bid on these games, and I think they should look at least every 3 weeks to see where they could possibly take a horrible game like the one Thursday and make a change to put the Jacksonville game on a regular schmo Sunday afternoon when nobody gives a shit, watches it, and take a good prime time and put two teams up there, like, let's say it was Dallas and Philly or somebody. Dallas Philly's what time? Is that tonight? It's tonight's game, isn't
That's
it?
Sunday night's game tonight, yes.
Now that's a fucking good game.
Well, there's a lot of Dallas games going on at night. I don't think that's fair, even though they're my team. But how is that fair?
I mean, I still don't understand how it's not a good game.
It's not even like an East Coast team.
That was a division game. Tennessee at Jacksonville was a division game.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee is tied for first in their division right now.
It's not even an East Coast team either. It's like they're on prime time on the
So
East.
besides the fantasy shit team, man, all the people, all the football players, and you heard them everywhere that were saying, "Is anyone really going to watch tonight's game?" I mean, let's face it.
Who was saying that?
Everybody, man. Every
Who?
network, ESPN, the radio.
Well, that's very unprofessional of them.
I didn't hear
that
that.
would
You
be
know what? Maybe it's
unprofessional.
not
They would
professional,
probably
but
get
it was
fired.
the truth.
I didn't hear them say
It
that
was
once.
I didn't hear
watch
that
ESPN
either.
Oh my
every
God, are
single
you
day.
kidding me?
No, I didn't
Everyone
hear
was
that
saying it.
either.
Everyone was saying who's watching that fucking game tonight. Even with the World Series not being on, they were still like, forget it. No one's going to watch that game. Nobody give a shit.
I didn't hear that
I
once.
never hear that about football ever.
Honey Badgers don't care. Honey Badgers don't give a shit. Okay, well, I guess I'm really fucking batting zero here.
Hey, you're strong with your opinion. That's all that matters, you know?
Yep, but maybe I am wrong, I guess.
Maybe they should just have the Seahawks
Are there
on
any
every
more
night.
Twizzlers in that bag?
I'm going to that game, by the way.
What
Seahawks
game?
at Pats, 2 weeks.
Really? I went to Seahawks Jets.
How was that?
Really?
Yeah, my buddy works security there. He one of the higher ups he was like one of the heads. He got us owner's guest passes.
Oh, wow.
So we're on the field before the game next to Leon Hess. Zac Efron was probably 5-10 feet from me. I'm standing right next to Ray.
Oh, he's
Romano.
hot.
Very hot.
Zach's hot.
He's like 5'2" though. He's very short.
Sorry.
Then we got to be on the field during the national anthem and stuff. It was,
Oh,
it
that's
was
cool.
pretty insane.
Did you see anybody take a knee?
No, I would have.
Thank you. I was going to say, if you did, you should have kicked him in the throat. What's your stand on that?
It's the most disrespectful fucking thing you could ever do.
Good for you, man. I like this guy more and more. Totally disrespectful. Horrible job.
You should be banned from the NFL if you take a knee during a game. I mean, you can't do that legally, but
You know what I saw? I saw that someone who sang the national anthem before Miami Heat pregame took a knee as she's singing the national anthem. If you're going to sing the national anthem, don't fucking take
are
a
you
knee.
kidding me, man?
No, I swear to God.
No, that can't be right.
No, it's
You're
real.
way, way, way off on that.
No, I'm not.
Somebody's singing the national anthem while
Was
on their
taking
knees.
a knee. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Bring
Yes.
it- Show me
I
a
have it right here on
videotape.
my Facebook.
And then that's so retarded, man.
That's
that
what
really
I'm
is
saying. That
ridiculous.
should not be allowed. If you're singing the national anthem,
You know what?
you
She
should
should
not
be
be allowed
shot.
to take a knee.
Absolutely, it's fucking like it's a no-brainer, man. Jesus Christ, this guy in the fucking fan over here.
Oh my god. That's the most disrespectful thing to do.
I don't even want. That's horrible, man.
don't like it when players do it. Never mind.
booze.
You're coming out to say, "Yeah, can I sing the national anthem?" And you take a knee in the middle of singing the anthem.
Whose
You're
autograph is
scum.
this on this ball? Pete, your mother? Who's on that?
No, it's his.
That's it. Oh my God, you're right.
Yep.
What the? Oh my God, I've just been wrong all day. I just can't accept that. That's horrible. That's worse than what's his name, snorting cocaine and drinking a fifth and driving into those rocks.
Easy. That's my boy. Even if he's a drug freak.
Wait a minute.
What?
It's kind of hypocritical.
What do you mean?
Because you make fun of people that do drugs, but then this guy's okay because he's a sports player?
I never said that was okay for him
Oh,
to
okay.
do.
I thought you were defending
No.
him. I was about to
I think Robbie was the
I
most
just said
upset
that's my
about
boy.
this.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, okay.
He was the most upset about.
I was
about
very
this.
upset.
He
to
should
see
be
that-
treated as such as others. If he's
I was
an
very
outcast.
upset to see that they found cocaine and alcohol in his bloodstream. While
Obviously, alcohol's going to be in his system. They were at a bar.
Hey, what's he doing?
Yeah,
Well,
but
I know
two
alcohol was
times-
going to be in his
2 times
system,
the legal limit, man. 2
but
times.
to see
Well, I mean-
cocaine.
What's he doing on a boat?
He got into
I
a
don't
fight
know.
with
In
his wife.
fairness to him, he said, "I'm going to get really drunk, but I'm going to snort cocaine, so that's going to sober me up." And that's where that was his mistake.
Well,
He was in a bar and he got into an argument with his girlfriends, and they
Girlfriends?
Girlfriends.
Oh, okay.
And I guess it was a
Really?
pretty serious argument, and they ended up left with his friends to go
so
on the
he
boat.
just said, "I'm getting all fucked up tonight, guys. Fuck that bitch." And who's got cocaine? And yeah, life is good. And who's driving my boat? And who's not going to fucking see all these rocks in the water? Game over.
Oh, okay.
That's horrible.
So Matt, do you watch the NBA at all?
I do. A little bit.
What's your team?
I don't really have one. I just watch.
If you had to pick a team, would you be able to pick a team, or you just watch?
I would rather watch LeBron win championships. So,
Jesus.
but
Oh,
I mean,
God.
my team was always the Lakers just because of Kobe.
Yes.
There we go. So, what do you think of the Lakers, though? Have you gotten a chance to see any of the games?
I like D'Angelo.
You like D'Angelo?
I do.
You could see the difference watching the first game. You could see there's definitely a difference in attitude with him. He was more like learning from Kobe last year instead of being himself. To this year, now he's being himself. Where I remember he got an and-1 or something, and Mark Jackson saying over commentary, "This is my house," and he's actually sitting there saying, "This is my shit." And the guy's like, "Yeah, Mark, maybe he said different words, not this is my house."
Yeah,
But
I think Kobe last year was bad for their team almost just because he was, jacking up so many shots. But I think he's good.
well, the last game, that wasn't Kobe's idea. Kobe wanted them to go out and win the ball game. The team actually came up to him and said, "This is your game."
No, I like that. That was probably the coolest, last game anyone's ever had. So I thought that was cool.
It's been good for a lot of people recently. You think of Derek Jeter,
Not David
Peyton
Ortiz.
Manning.
Robbie, are you playing with the microphone thing?
No.
Who's doing that?
No, and I hear that too.
You hear it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Okay. Anyways, move on.
It sounds like a fucking deep sea dive to the fucking Titanic, for Christ's sakes. Very unprofessional, Jacques.
But back on what you're saying about the Warriors when they lost the first game,
yeah,
I'm a non-believer in them winning this year. I think what's going to happen with them, and I think it's already happened a little bit, is you have Klay Thompson. I think he's going to be very selfish and say, "Oh, I'm not getting enough points. I'm going to start taking the ball more, taking up more shots."
Mm-hmm.
I think that team will break up because if you have a guy like Steph Curry who's used to averaging 30 points and he's averaging 15, he's going to be upset.
Now, what I think about that, I think Curry and Durant are all in for the championship because, one, Curry wants revenge. So if he has to I think Curry would give up a little because you can already see that he's actually taking less 3-point shots than what he was at last year.
Yeah.
Because he wants to work the ball with Durant. But there's a lot of things that they have to work on. First thing is the team chemistry.
Yeah.
You got 4 superstars on your team. Last team I think of that had 4 superstars everyone said was going to win the championship was the Lakers with Shaq, Kobe, Malone, and Gary Payton. And they didn't win.
Yeah.
And their bench, they went from having the best bench of last year to basically Iguodala and Sean Livingston.
Yeah, I think what they got to do is just start JaVale McGee.
They did play McGee, but McGee's been so hurt. Like, he's still trying to fix his, I guess you could say, his vertical leap, I guess, because all the knee injuries.
Yeah.
It's just a big mess, and realistically, we all know this wouldn't happen. One of the 4 superstar guys would have to go to the bench, and we all know it wouldn't happen. But that would be the best chance to go get everybody's attention and say, okay, now they're actually a doable threat.
Yeah.
They're still a threat either way, but they'd be a bigger threat if just one superstar said, you know what, I'll take one for the team, I'll go to the bench, and just
But that
pull
would
me
never
off
happen
if you have
because
to.
people are selfish.
And take, like, I think his name is, like, Ian Clark or something, and, like, put him in as, like, a point guard or a shooting guard, have Clay go down. I honestly think Clay is the one out of all 4 of them that should go down, but, like, it was Travis, you said it, right? Clay said that he wasn't going to stop the scoring. He's already, you know.
Yeah, he's going to be that's what I think their team, they're not going to win over 65 games this year. That's my opinion. I think they'll get knocked out.
A lot of people
in
are
the Western
expecting them to
Conference.
win 74 games, and Draymond already said it, like, before the season started. If you expect 74 wins, you're crazy. 73 was hard as hell.
Yeah, and I think they're not as good this year. So, you know, I think the West, they'll be lucky to get past the Spurs because Kawhi Leonard's just dominating.
Now, that's a little bit of a problem, too, though, because LaMarcus Aldridge is already upset that they're not calling it his team. They're calling it Kawhi's team. He's not taking that too well to the point where at the beginning of the season there were some rumors that they were looking to trade LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, that's the thing with sports. You just get those selfish people on these teams that are good, and they can't, mesh and have the chemistry.
So, if you don't have the Warriors winning it, who do you think is going to win?
I'm not going to bet against LeBron ever again. I don't think he'll ever lose a finals if he gets into one. So I like them, or I like, I think Russell Westbrook. He's going to get in a zone that's just going to,
So you
win
think
MVP.
the Thunder have a shot of making it?
Yeah. I think
Wow.
I think they're a good team. One man could carry a team pretty far, especially if he just goes off in the playoffs.
He would definitely prove me a lot different then, because I remember when Kevin Durant went down with the injury, Westbrook didn't lead his team to the playoffs. He was averaging triple-doubles like he is now, but he couldn't bring them to the playoffs. So I question even if they're going to make the playoffs this year. I know Houston's not going to make it because D'Antoni's not a good coach. He was only a good coach when he had Stoudemire and Steve Nash to cover his behind when they had no defense.
God, it was so nice to beat D'Antoni.
God, remember when I told you like that was the worst thing they could have done, firing Mike Brown after 5 games and then pick up Mike D'Antoni, and then you have Kobe and Dwight Howard going at it back and forth. That's another thing that you have to look at in the NBA is Dwight Howard going to let his ego aside and play good basketball at the Hawks, and then if he wants to win a championship so bad, move the ball, because that's the system they run in Atlanta.
I'm just one of those black Germans that seems familiar to everyone.
Update on the morning game. Redskins are up 10-7 since he just got the ball back on an interception.
What quarter is it?
Going into the 2-minute warning.
What do you guys feel about that, though, with college, no 2-minute warning in the final 4 minutes?
Stupid.
For football?
Yeah.
They get a lot of other. The problem I think is with college is they have a lot of rules that don't reflect what the NFL does. So I think when they come from college and go to the NFL, that's why
It's
all these
different
fucking
rule
shit.
change.
Yeah, that's why all this
And
shit
you know what's
happens.
crazy is there's always a rule change at the end. The NFL season, they change it to something else. And the officials don't even, get those rules right either.
What are they going to do? Move the goalpost back to the fucking front of the line now?
I don't understand why they don't just keep the rules consistent all the way up. Like, you go into high school and it's. Do you have to? I'm not sure if you have to have 2 feet in bounds when you catch it in high school too.
Yeah.
No feet.
All.
But then you go into college, you only need 1 foot, and every time you get a first down, the clock stops, and it's like.
Yeah, but what do you think about? I think 1 foot's okay. Why do you need 2?
It should be 2.
You're
Should be
still
2.
I think it should be 2. Yeah, it takes a lot of skill to put 2 feet down compared to 1.
But if you're reaching and you get it, man, I think 1 foot. You're in. You're in. How about? Well, then it should be where when you go over the pylon, you shouldn't be able to brush it.
No, as long as
Both
you're not
hands
stepping,
should be
as long as you're not
across.
stepping out of bounds, as long as you keep the football in bounds. it's
That's
good.
almost the same thing as 1 foot being out, though. No.
No, because you already have control of the ball when you're going out of bounds.
I agree with them in that one.
That whole fucking crossing the plane thing. I think
They need to establish what a catch is because it's getting a bit ridiculous of what a catch is now.
What do you think about that? I never got a chance to ask you. What did you think of the Dez catch? And just make sure you talk it to his eyes when you say it.
Shut up. I could mute you, you know.
It was a catch.
Oh, thank you. See, Robbie?
Wow.
Yeah, man. That's 2 years ago, by the way, so get over it.
I'm over it. You're not over it. I'm over it.
Listen, we're doing good this year so far. I'm good.
Yeah, Tony should not get the job back. Dak is.
That was my next question.
Dak's
Dak or Tony?
Everybody's saying the same thing. I mean,
It should be Dak, but it's going to be Romo just because.
loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty. And how do you have someone making $20 million as a backup? Like, you know what I'm saying? Unless they were to trade him, he has to start.
The pressure falls on him. If he wants to be a good team player, because stop moving. The pressure falls on him because if he wants to be a good teammate, he should say, you know what, they're doing a good momentum. Just let them keep playing.
Yeah, and honestly,
Fuck
you
it.
remember what I was saying about how we were discussing if Romo should come back or not? And I had said he should pretend to be injured when he first comes back. Let
Yeah.
Dak take on the Eagles.
Exactly.
Honestly, I think that's exactly what he did today. He's
He
letting
should.
Dak take on the Eagles. He'll return for the Browns.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. This
I
is
think
Dak's
that's a
last
smart
game,
move
right?
to do.
I think so.
Ready?
yeah.
This is my hot take I've had since the beginning of the year. I don't know if it's going to stand true.
Who's your team, by the way?
Seahawks? But once Tony Romo went down, I said he'll never start another game in the NFL.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a Bledsoe thing, too, because Dak is too good.
Dak is pretty solid.
Dak is very good.
So
I mean,
now that he gets kicked out, or not kicked, I call it kicked out. Now that he gets kicked out, is he allowed to have a hissy fit?
Dak?
Because he brought them all the way to 5-1. Dak,
Dak,
Nah, he won't.
He's a team player. I think he won't do that.
you think he's a team player?
If he does, it'll be in the locker room.
if he
It won't be
was
to the
if
media.
he was to throw hissy fit, Dallas would have been all over him, and he would have said something already because Dallas media is pretty strong, so they would have gotten his head and he would have outburst. But
Thing
it
is,
seems like he'll be good.
as a professional, when they do that, they lose the coach's trust. Like, you probably don't know his name, Jason Ajayi, or whatever his first name
You
is.
sound like
Ajayi,
Portuguese.
yeah,
Ajay.
the running back for
I gotta
Miami.
go potty, Ajayi.
He was their number 1 back, and then they signed Arian Foster. And they told him that he's no longer the starter because they signed Foster, and he was pissed. Like
That worked out for him well, huh?
he threw a huge fit. They moved him to actually the number 3 back, even though he was better than the practice squad back, just to prove their point of our decisions will stand.
Right.
No matter what you do, no matter what you say, you need to respect our decisions. So they dropped him to number 3. Then after Foster got hurt, they allowed him to earn his spot. Actually, the first game after Foster was injured, they even gave that other guy the starting spot because they didn't want to give it to Ajayi. So it just goes to show that even no matter how good they are, they still have to show their professionalism.
Alex Smith is another example of someone who did very well with that, with getting replaced by Kaepernick.
How is he doing? I haven't been watching.
Oh, he's
those
been
games.
terrible.
How's it good?
He's been very bad.
Good.
Alex Smith was another one, and he goes, the worst thing he said was, I lost my job to an injury. And then he left.
He
on
wanted to say I
good
lost my
terms.
job to a regent, but he didn't say that.
Yeah.
It's a replacement league.
Oh,
I want to talk about, actually, with Matt here, too, the Seahawks running back situation.
It's not good.
No, I know, but Michael, like, what's going to happen when Rawls comes back? I had said this on Twitter. I think it's going to be very similar to the Cowboys situation last year with Joseph Randle and
Darren McFadden.
McFadden, where it was like Randall's the number one, but at the same time, if McFadden gets hot, he's the starter. He's staying in there. I think it's going to be the same thing with Rawls and Michael.
Kind
Yeah,
of
look
like
at it
the thing going on in Cincinnati, too, wouldn't you say? Or no?
McFadden.
Not really.
We look at Rawls. He obviously proved himself last year, having a couple
Yeah.
200-yard games. So, Christy Michael, I don't think he's done particularly well.
Especially the past few weeks. He had his first couple weeks, he was good. He was really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think you got to put Rawls in and just see what happens. Unless Michael just gets really,
Yeah, it
really
depends
hot.
how he does this week, especially against the Saints' weak running defense. So
Yeah.
What's your take though with how 1 week the Seahawks offense it's there and it's dominant, and then another week it's just not there and Russell Wilson can't do anything? What do you think is a problem with that?
I don't know. It's interesting how, especially beginning of the years, they always struggle, and then their offense gets hot. But you look at last week, their offense did not look good.
yeah, I think that comes down to play with just Wilson being limited. Not being able to scramble just hurts their offense so much because without his ability to just
Run
make
out
a
of the
play,
pocket.
make
Yeah.
the 20-yard play out of nothing is just
Yeah, their problem this year, you look at it from game one, is their offensive line has been struggling.
Yeah.
So if they get that button down,
Do you think that trade with I forget the name of your guys' center at the
Max
time?
Unger.
hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
Still hungry.
That was a good move because you do get Jimmy Graham, but you do lose your center and.
But knowing that Jimmy Graham is not a blocking tight end by any means.
No, yeah, that does hurt your offense. So, you lose a guy like Unger, but whatever. You still got a great, basically receiver in Jimmy Graham. And,
Right.
Watching him in
And he's
person
proven
against
it
the
this
Jets,
year.
He was great.
He's proven it this year. He had back-to-back 100-yard games where he had only a total of one the year before.
Yeah. He looks a lot better this year. He's
More comfortable in the offense.
yeah.
Now, I have another question as well. Some people are talking about Pete Carroll potentially going back to USC and not Seattle. Do you see that happening by any chance?
No, I think he's in love with Seattle.
Yeah. Did you see halftime when they blocked that field goal? He ran to every single defensive player and gave him a big hug, told him what a great job they did. It was great to see that out of a coach.
Yeah,
man.
he looks like he's just in love there. So if
Yeah.
he leaves, hey,
Let's not forget too, going into today's game, they don't have Michael Bennett. He went down, had surgery on his knee.
How
He's
long is he out
2 or
for?
3 weeks. It wasn't a tear or
okay.
anything, just to clean up. And they're also
Don't play with that ball. You can't hear that? Yeah, that's you.
they're also playing. I think it was Cam Chancellor went down. He's out this week.
really,
So
that's a big blow.
yeah, 2 of them. One of the number 1 pass rusher. I'd say like the number 1
Yeah,
pass rusher.
I
in
know
the
what you're
NFL.
saying. Top
And then the
pass
hardest
rusher.
hitting safety in the NFL. Both out.
Yeah, I remember on the list of hardest hitting players in the league, he was ranked like 30th.
Yeah.
And that motivated him, and he's definitely not.
And
30th.
they're playing at New Orleans, so that's Drew Brees' territory right there. So
yeah, I still think they'll
I think
pull
they'll
it out.
win, but it's just
Yeah, they're well, yeah.
2 key
even,
defensive
like,
players.
It depends
Drew
on
Brees
their
goes
offense.
off at home.
So, do you think Richard Sherman is the best corner in the NFL?
I think he's good. Even being a fan, I think there's a little bit of overratedness to him. I think he gets beat a lot, from what I've noticed. Especially watching it in person, where you can see the whole play. He does get
You've
beat.
seen him in person, so
He does get beat a good amount. I think Patrick Peterson's awesome.
I think Patrick Peterson has gotten a lot better because when people made the argument that Patrick Peterson was the best cornerback in the NFL, I didn't even have him like top 10, but he's definitely worked on his craft and he's a lot better than what he used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
He
Yeah,
was he was always getting beat all the time.
I just learned that Robbie was on crack.
I said craft.
Yeah, I know. I learned you were on crack because you didn't even have Peterson in the top 10 cornerbacks.
Well, I don't know. I had the list back in the day who I thought top 10 was. I don't remember who it was now.
Sam.
All right. So next hour we're going to be making our picks. You going to stay around for that?
sure.
There we go. So it looks like Bryington snooze lane.
I had to take a break from basketball for the last hour.
Check 1, 2.
You don't like
It was like 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's literally like 5 minutes left.
What
so.
about college? UConn starts today. They play New Haven at XL Center.
Yeah.
The UConn Huskies going to go undefeated, win the national championship.
No.
No,
Well, the women, maybe.
well, yeah,
The women, maybe. Do you think that's boring, though?
the women's game. Women's basketball is it the most entertaining thing. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Not being sexist or anything, but I think it's awesome.
I
to
think
see
it's
team
not
dominate.
exciting because they can't dunk. They can't do all this.
It's not competitive, honestly.
Yeah, when you
Well,
have a team like
UConn makes it look not
dominating-
competitive at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome because dominance in sports is very popular. I mean, the psychological aspect of it is people are going to like seeing a dominant team.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not a bad thing. I think it's good for the game. People like Gino Auriemma said last year. He said, if you think us being this dominant is a bad thing for the game, get better. I mean, what do you
Yeah,
want him to do?
absolutely, and he's right about that.
Yeah.
That's like the Patriots every year, right, Pete?
Patriots suck.
Yeah, fuck them. Just terrible.
Gotta say,
Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Oh,
probably one of the best
oh.
coaches.
I have to ask you this. Forgot you're a Red Sox fan.
Yes, sir.
Feeling towards Poppy.
Upset.
Should he come back?
No. He obviously had one of his best seasons ever last year, but you got to go out with style. Why come back and struggle? Just go out on a bang and end your career, have some fun, eat some more chicken, and drink some more beer.
What's your feelings towards paying $30 million to David Price and him not living up to expectations?
I mean, that happens. That happens so much in sports. You get a guy who gets just a huge deal and he just struggles, but that's the name of the game, and that's the beast you have to deal with. So it sucks, but hey, it's sports.
Did you guys see that interception for the Giants last week?
Yes, with
The pick six,
Collins. Yep.
Collins. He ran. It was like a 43-yard pick six, but he ran a total of 113 yards. 'cause
Yeah.
He went side to side so many times.
The way the camera, I don't know. Just to me, it looked like he got tackled at first. So I was confused when he got in the
Yeah,
end
he
zone
saved
because I
himself
thought he
for
was
the
already
fan.
tackled, and then I just see him dive in the end zone. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess he didn't get tackled. But that was crazy. He ran from one side of the field all the way to the other, just like DeMarco did with that rush on Thursday night.
There was that, and then Vikings. They fell to 5-1, right? Big Matt. I told you they were going to lose to the Eagles. Where you at?
He knows the number to call, and he'll definitely
All right, so
probably be calling it.
All I'm saying is last week, I made bold predictions. I said the Eagles were going to win.
Same.
I also said the Giants. So if I was a betting man, I would have won about $800 last weekend with the lines. I'm very upset I don't gamble yet.
All right, well, hold that down. We'll be right back after this little break.
All right. We'll do all the picks next hour.
Your mom next hour.
You need
You want to come back on, buddy? We're going to do picks.
Put on some hip hop, Pete. This sucks. What the fuck you listening to?
I'm so hungry.
Where's some Jay-Z or something? What the fuck are we listening to? I feel like I'm going to get a blowjob or a training bra. It was pretty funny. I would just...
Whoa.
When I said I don't have my clothes, what did you say?
No, I said for this music, I feel like I'm going to give a blowjob or going to buy a training bra.
That song is always, that's my high school song. Jesus.
Shut the fuck up, Brian.
Robbie needs to